Okay, so this is a red petal dress that I've been working on for over a year now. Yeah, it's been over a year working on this dress. Um, the reason it took a year, we'll get into. But basically, last year I was invited on a hen night to Disney World Paris. No, Disneyland Paris. Get it right. And we were told to choose two Disney characters, one villain and one princess, to kind of go as. So Disney bounding, but less so. But the villain I chose was the Queen of Hearts. So I decided to make an outfit based on the Queen of Hearts. And if I used it, great. If I didn't, I wanted it to be able to be worn every day, just like I wear my other clothes. Every day, normal. So I had to like what I was making. It wasn't dress up, it was let's make a dress that I actually want to wear. Which I think is the best way to go about any fancy dress. Make something that you would want to wear. Okay, Queen of Hearts. I went through, looked at loads of images. Of course, Disney didn't invent the Queen of Hearts. So there is bucket loads of material and interest for the story, because it is of course out of copyright, so anyone can use the story of Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. So yeah, I wanted to go on the theme of painting the roses red, because I thought I'm not really a heartsy person, and if I wear yellow, it's got to be the right yellow. And yeah, so I decided I like all these dresses with the petals and the flowers that fall off. It was all the fashion last year, kind of, it was turning up a lot. And I decided to make that. I bought a dress. I didn't want to make it from scratch, so I bought a black dress. Turns out I bought the wrong size, it was too small, so I had to disassemble it anyway. I took out the waistband, inserted a new waistband made out of ribbons that I already had lying around. So made a new waistband and used the waistband I took out to widen the chest area so it was comfortable as well. I didn't want it just tight, and I wanted it to be comfortable. I took I think it was like a bed sheet cotton, and made a lining for the dress as well, because it didn't have a lining, and it's quite stretchy, sweaty material, and I wanted a lining because I want to feel comfortable. And my plan was to wear the dress and wear shorts underneath, so I could go on all the rides and not be stupid. Like, it looked fluffy, but really it wasn't. So, but then of course things happened. 2020, eh? Yeah, that trip was cancelled and rearranged, and we're still arranging it. I was disheartened when we couldn't go. Not disheartened, unmotivated. I was unmotivated to finish the dress last year. Things were going on, everything was up in the air. Everything's still up in the air, but I've got to have something to do now. I'm too bored. So I decided to try and finish as many projects as I can before starting my next project, which is the green dress. Or it's not green, it's kind of like a tealy blue. Decided after Christmas this year, let's crack on with this petal dress. Let's get all those petals sewn. There was 200 red silk petals to sew onto the bottom of the dress. I'd already arranged them and pinned them where I wanted them, just had to hand sew them. The reason I didn't want to machine sew them is because, well, you would see the stitching too obvious, and I wanted it less obvious, and it just made sense. Too much fabric to fuff around with a machine, so hand stitch it was, and I could do that watching TV, listening to a book, watching a film, those kind of things. So I cracked on with that. I must have been working at a pace of like 1 a day or 5 a week or none a week. I wasn't very motivated until I actually decided, let's do this. And that was last week. So last week I decided, count how many I've got left to do. There was 75 left to do. If I'd done 5 a day, I think it was going to take me 15 days to finish. And I was like, no, I want this bit of the dress done before that. So I said myself 5 a day and more if I feel like it. Because I'm not one to... I like to underestimate myself rather than overestimate myself. Because when I overestimate myself, I get ill quite quickly. Because I wear myself out. Like yesterday when I decided to do too much and had a spout of exhaustion. But that's me. That's what I do. I can get exhausted quite quickly. So underestimate myself, but have that range where I can up it if I feel like it. So that's what I did. 5 a day, more if I wanted to. And I finished it in 3 days, so I definitely did more. I say finish. I still got more to do on the dress at the moment. But yeah. It's a Disney-bounding dress for the Queen of Hearts. Rather simple. But if I paired it with a stripy pair of tights and stuff like that, I think it would, yeah, pretty much be on cue. If you're on cue, on whatever that word is. Yeah, but that was what I was thinking.
200 petals to sew on a dress, 200 petals to sew. I'll sew one on, that leaves 199. Oh, mad, I'll slowly go. Oh, 200 petals to sew on a dress, 200 petals to sew. I've sewed 2 on, now 198. Oh, mad, I'm slowly go. 200 petals to sew on a dress, 200 petals to sew. I've sewn 125, there's 75 petals to go. Oh, 200 petals to sew on a dress, 200 petals to sew. I think I've gone slightly mad, but that's the way it goes.
200 petals to applique by hand. If I do 3 a day, how many days is that going to take me? So 75. If I do 5 a day, that's 15 days. So just over 2 weeks.
200 petals to sew on a dress, 200 petals to sew. I'll sew one on, that leaves 199. Oh, mad, I'll slowly go. Oh, 200 petals to sew on a dress, 200 petals to sew. I've sewed 2 on, now 198. Oh, mad, I'm slowly go. 200 petals to sew on a dress, 200 petals to sew. I've sewn 125, there's 75 petals to go. Oh, 200 petals to sew on a dress, 200 petals to sew. I think I've gone slightly mad, but that's the way it goes. Okay, so I've pretty much almost done it. I've sewn the side, I've widened the sides, I've removed the waistband to use to widen the sides, I've put a new waistband in, I've attached a lining, I've attached all of 200 red silk petals, I've put a net overlay, I've sewn the net overlay up, and here I'm just tagging, doing a few stitches to make the overlaying net less, I don't know, give it some movement, give it some volume. Once I've finished that, the dress is finished, so I better go on and just complete it.
Okay, so the dress is made. I need a crown, but we'll probably sort that out at a later time. Probably need a bag, maybe some jewellery, different makeup scheme, different hair, most likely, and more than likely gonna be later on because I've got a wedding to plan.
Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you next time.
200 petals to sew on a dress, 200 petals to sew. I'll sew one on that leaves 199. Oh, mad, I'll slowly go. Oh, 200 petals to sew on a dress, 200 petals to sew. I've sewed 2 on, now 198. Oh, mad, I'm slowly go. 200 petals to sew on a dress, 200 petals to sew. I've sewn 125, there's 75 petals to go. Oh, 200 petals to sew on a dress, 200 petals to sew. I think I've gone slightly mad, but that's the way it goes.